So it turns out I have a little problem today. The microphone comes with a receiver that I usually or a transmitter that I usually have on my hat, but I forgot to bring the transmitter. So for today's video, I'm probably just going to speak into the microphone first, do the exercise, and then probably come back and speak something more. Anyway, so for the first exercise, doing an arm and biceps or tricep bicep superset. With the biceps, I'm going to use the kettlebells and a towel. Um, I'll explain the benefits of using a towel after the fact, and then I'm also using the cable machine to do alternate tricep pushdowns. This is what that looks like. So the towel grip creates a little bit of slack when you're doing the curl, which creates an instability, which forces your biceps to contract a lot more intentionally. What I mean by that is if you curl it too fast, the weight will move around, and then you won't be able to curl properly. So you have to be very slow and intentional about the way you curl. You can't use momentum. Then the other thing is because of the thickness of the towel, your forearms are forced to work a lot harder. And grip strength comes into play with pretty much any lift that requires you to hold something. So while doing biceps, I like to do that to train that. With the tricep pushdowns, I like to use individual weight stacks on individual handles because I'm a big believer in unilateral training, because every time both hands are involved, the stronger hand usually takes over. This way I'm able to focus on just one side at a time and make sure that um, there are no imbalances. I mean, there's still going to be imbalances, I think, but the odds that they're going to be more pronounced, you can reduce how bad they are, I guess, by doing unilateral single arm, single stack work. But yeah, this is the superset I'm going to do for now. Am I even talking into the mic? Oh yeah. Gonna do 10 sets of that. So as you all probably know, I'm a big fan of compound movements. And so even with arms, when I'm training arms, I like to add a compound or functional element to it. So now, and also I'm of the belief that you can get better muscle growth gains by instead of doing a curl, if you were to do some sort of curl that also involved a squat motion, just by the fact that you're recruiting more muscle groups, it increases growth hormone release, and I think that leads to, at least it's my belief, that it leads to better muscle growth. But, you know, even if you don't want to believe that. And even if that's incorrect, I think there is something to be said for learning to use your whole body as a unit, as opposed to just isolating a muscle group, which seems to be like whenever someone's training biceps, most people are just training curls and not really using it in the context of a bigger motion. So I like to throw in movements that are in that nature. And so for the first one, I'm going to do a curl to press to lunge uh, for 5 reps on each hand. And then after that, I'm going to do a towel grip tricep extension. The towel grip again creates an instability component, which makes you have to focus a lot more on the tricep contraction. And the towel component creates an like grip, forces your forearms to work harder, which translates to all lifts that involves holding something. But yeah, this is what that looks like. But yeah, also with supersetting biceps and triceps, uh, you're forcing blood into the front and the back of the arms. Should give you a really good pump. Um, then, yeah, find it weird not talking through my lift, but and you guys might find it weird too. But we make do with what we have. Um, gonna do about 3 to 5 sets, and ooh, yeah, that's the exercise for now. So, kind of keeping with the theme of the previous exercise, where I combined a bicep movement into a shoulder movement. No, bicep into a shoulder into a leg movement. So I'm kind of going to do all of the above, but instead of a lunge, I'm going to throw in a squat. And I don't exactly know what the motion is called in the kettlebell world, where you kind of hold a kettlebell and then look at it. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do as far as for the bicep portion of things. And if you even want to call it the bicep portion of things, it is just a movement that involves the bicep. But the theme for today kind of is movements that involve biceps and triceps. That being said, though, I still haven't really figured out what I'm going to do for a tricep that also involves legs. But if it's if my legs are being used in the earlier exercise, it is what it is. You can't hit everything all the time. You train what movements you can, so on and so forth. Anyway, with the triceps, I'm doing so. Previously, I was doing a towel grip single hand tricep extension. Now I'm going to do it with both hands, but alternate. Um, it's just going to be a slightly different experience on the body, and so let's it's less brain power, I guess, to come up with something that's that I can still do in this area and hit the triceps, but still focus on stability and all of that. Anyway, this is what that looks like. So yeah, that's a superset for now. The with the bicep movement, like first I guess the progression would be like, if you're not comfortable leaning and doing all that stuff, the first part of that would be just to get the curl and the press overhand, and then to be able to squat in that position. And then after that, slowly figure out how you can lean and look at it and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, the first step towards that, I guess, would be to get a curl and a press. Make sure you can hold your hand behind your head. Then the next thing is you want to be able to squat down with like holding something behind your head. Then once you get that, just try to look at it. Look at what you're lifting. And yeah, that's the best way I can put it. It's hard to like walk through the motion when I'm not doing it and talking at the same time. Uh, but I'll probably do it, this movement again in a future video. So, I'll probably get to explain it better then. But yeah, these two movements are what I'm doing for now. Uh, I'm also doing a lot of sets of these. So like I'm doing like 5, 6 sets of these. I really like just driving a lot of blood into the arms. But yeah, that's what I'm doing for now. So for the next exercise, I haven't done muscle ups in a while, and while I'm not a big fan of muscle ups and the way they make me feel, I think the ability to do a muscle up is something that I need to make sure that I'm like working on. That is not a movement that I lose. So I'm gonna do like 3 sets of 3 muscle ups. Here's the first set. Gonna do 3 sets of that. So I talk a lot about using the body as a unit and all that good stuff, and I just want to demonstrate what ends up happening. Like, what's the final product of doing that? Like, sometimes doing all this functional stuff might seem silly. Oh, I'm not getting big fast or whatever, but there's some cool things that happen when you do the mobility and all that, using your body as a unit kind of stuff. And I just want to demonstrate that. That's the kind of shit that you can do once you start doing a lot of knees over toes guy stuff and using your whole body as a unit. So just some post-workout thoughts. Did a lot of like arm dominant stuff, but also involved the mobility component to it, and made a lot of the movements full body movements. I'm a big fan of doing stuff like that, if I haven't said that already, to um, build the capability of using the whole body as a unit. And towards the end of the workout, the video where I jump on the box and then go into, I guess, a Nordic. Is it a Nordic or a reverse Nordic? Whatever it is. The whole point being, like, I don't know, most people get into, or at least I did, get into the idea of being strong because of superheroes, and I wanted to be like a superhero. But Batman's not just jacked and strong. He's also pretty gymnastic and stuff like that. So, you know, take that info for what you want with it. In any case, quick physique check before I go catch my bus. Not looking too bad. Actually, here's some more posing. Other side. Yeah, I need to focus a little bit more on my shoulder mobility. I think my legs are doing quite well, but yeah. Anyway, that's all for today's video. See you all tomorrow.